What is going on? It is Nate the Game Guy coming back with another video at hand, and today I want to talk to you guys about why I don't use Game Pass. Let's face it, Game Pass has been very popular with the Xbox brand for quite a little bit now, and it can provide quite a bit of value to a lot of gamers out there. Now, of course, for those that have been following me for a while, you know already that I'm into both retro and current gen games, so it should be no surprise that I do spend a good chunk of time using my Series X. However, even though I have a Series X and I do play frequently online, that doesn't necessarily mean that I use Game Pass and don't really have an intention to use it at all. Of course, in this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about some of the pros of Game Pass, why I don't use it, and some of my thoughts as to just the whole idea with Game Pass and with my personal use, and of course, you guys getting a little bit of an idea why I don't use it. So, without further ado, let's jump right into this video's topic right after the intro. Alright, so I want to start things off by talking about what exactly is Game Pass. So what is Game Pass? For those that have never played or owned an Xbox console within recent times, or just simply haven't heard about it, Game Pass is a subscription-based service that you can use on your PC or your Xbox, depending on which type of model of the subscription you decide to choose, and it gives you an access to a ton of different games at your disposal every month. It can be a good value for those that want to try and play a lot of different games that simply don't want to go out to the store and just buy all these different games to see, if they like it and just see if they can jump on that hype bandwagon. It can be a great service and can provide a lot of great value. Now, of course, within recent times, there have been different models of the Game Pass subscription-based service, of the core model, and then there are these other models that you can choose from. I'm personally not familiar with all of them, is just because I personally don't use Game Pass myself. But essentially what Game Pass is, imagine essentially Disney Plus, Netflix, Hulu, but instead of you having access to a bunch of TV shows and movies, it is essentially video games. It is just essentially a whole bunch of games that you get to choose from, and the selection changes from each month to the next, depending on what Microsoft and other publishers' decisions tend to be. And there are new games added, and there are times where games will be removed, just like on Disney Plus and Netflix and all those other services, where sometimes they'll add new stuff, but they'll take down other stuff as well. Now, of course, it's worth talking about the pros and cons of Game Pass. Now, obviously, for a fee every month, you get a lot of different games that you get to choose from. I mean a lot of different games. These, I have to say, you do get quite a bit of value when you are using Game Pass because, like I said, you don't have to go out and buy these different games and try these different games to see if you like it. It can offer quite a bit of value because, if you were to go out and try to buy all these different games on Game Pass, you're really going to be spending a lot of money. But, if you do use Game Pass, you're saving quite a bit of money. You get a lot of games that you get to choose from. The value is there. However, what's worth talking about with Game Pass is, obviously, you don't own the games. As long as you are paying the subscription or whatever, sure, you have access to them. But the problem is let's say you're playing a game that either you're enjoying the story, the multiplayer is really fun, or just for whatever reason, you're really liking that game. There's been people that have complained about sometimes where they're really enjoying a game and it's taken down. and sometimes it doesn't come back, sometimes it does come back. You just don't know. And that can be quite bothersome for some. And I can see why. Is because I would personally hate playing a great game and then whoop, just taken it away from me, and I just can't play it unless if I decide to buy it. Of course, like I said, you don't really own the games. It's just essentially you have permission to play the games as long as you're paying this fee, which, of course, like I said, you got to weigh out what works best for you. Do you want to pay this fee every month where you get a ton of different games that you get to choose from, play, all that stuff? Or, these are all games that essentially you don't own yourself. They can be taken down at any time. Of course, people have also talked about the fees going up in price. That is just something I haven't personally paid attention to, but that is something I've heard of. I don't know exactly what the price increases have been, but that is also something to take into account too. So of course, when it comes to Game Pass, you kind of just have to weigh things out, what your goals are and what works best for you, and you can decide from there. Now, why do I not use Game Pass? Well, I'm sure you guys can see already, I have a room filled with video games, and I absolutely love it. And essentially, this is what this channel is really based off of, is my game room, my collection, my love of video games, and I share it, of course, on YouTube for everybody to see whenever they want it. Of course, when it comes to Game Pass, as mentioned from before, you don't really own the games, and as you can probably imagine, I'm a very big advocate of physical media. I like, essentially, once I buy a game, I own it forever, as long as I take good care of it. It is on my shelf, I can play it when I want, I can pop the game in to said game console, everything is good to go. It's not like one day, somebody's going to take away my copy of Sonic Adventure 2. Sega's not going to come knocking on my door, try to take the game away from me. It's just not going to happen. Unfortunately, that can't be said with Game Pass. Like I've said before, there have been games taken down from Game Pass, and people have been upset about it, rightfully so. I know I would be pretty upset if I was really enjoying the game and it was just taken away from me at some point. Of course, I do think Game Pass is kind of part of a problem already, where it's we're just moving into a relatively all digital future and physical media is dying out. I do have a video where I do talk about the problems of physical media dying, especially in video games, that you guys can check somewhere to watch. I do recommend that you guys do watch that, because I did put a little bit of some time and effort into the subject, and I think you guys would find it relatively entertaining and informative. But me personally, I like to own my games. I like to touch the games that I own. I like to pick up the games that I own. I like to own them, and I mean legitimately own them, not have some access because I'm paying a fee, or just because I bought it on the Xbox Marketplace or the PlayStation Store. I have it as a digital copy on my console. When a game is available in physical format, I will always try to get it in the physical format, is just simply because I like to own my games forever. And I think that is something that people should consider when it comes to digital purchases, and also Game Pass and just things of that nature as well. So overall, in conclusion, Game Pass can be a great service that can provide a ton of value to people that, they may just not simply care about owning their games. They just want to play games, have access to a ton of different titles to choose from, and just go from there. However, when it comes to somebody who is a physical collector, such as myself, it just doesn't really make sense, because I pretty much just buy all the games that I want to play. I like to own them, and that's just the gist of it. But anyway, what do you guys think? Did you find the video to be entertaining, informative, any of that good stuff? What do you guys think of Game Pass and some of my opinions on the matter? Feel free to comment in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Of course, please do consider giving this video a like. Helps boost it up into the YouTube algorithm so more viewers such as you can find videos just like this. Of course, please do consider subscribing because I post a ton of content when it comes to game collecting tips, and other video game related subjects. So if that is something that you guys are into, please do consider subscribing. But if you're going to subscribe, don't forget to hit that bell notification button so that way you will be notified when I upload a video just like this. I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll be seeing you guys next time.